Guys, it's pretty crazy that like you literally cannot even trust your own eyes anymore, right? For a lot of things. And you're probably sitting there scrolling YouTube right now and you're probably thinking like, what's this guy saying or things like that. But the point is you could be scrolling YouTube or scrolling the internet and some of these videos you see could be fully AI. They could be managed by AI. They could be, AI could be talking. AI could be doing, the editing, whatever it may be. But heck, this video you're watching right now could have been entirely generated by AI. And you might not even know, right? And I was having this thought today. My face, my voice, my words, none of it might be real, right? And that's scary. That's scary. We've officially reached a point where your eyes, your most trusted sense, can no longer be trusted. Growing up, we always heard of like the five senses or whatever, right? There's like the touch, smell, hearing, eyesight, and whatever the other one is. There's vibration and stuff too, like when you feel stuff with your hands, right? Like you have the human elements and the human touches and the human hearing and eyesight and all these things. And a lot of the times, like you can't even trust some of this stuff anymore you see online, right? And I had this thought today. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about what kind of prompted me to make this and some of the things I've noticed and how it's getting harder and harder to know what's real, what's fake, and who's behind it all. So think of it like Photoshop, right? Think of like the AI stuff that you see like Photoshop, right? But for reality, that's the thing. So like not only is it fake or it's Photoshopped, but it's like what you're encountering on a normal basis. So what do I mean by that? Like when we were growing up in high school, like people would get made fun of if they Photoshopped a picture, like, haha, that's Photoshopped. Now it's getting to the point though where everything is freaking Photoshopped. Everything has AI elements, or everything has filters to it. And stuff becomes less and less real year by year, right? And now anyone can copy your face, they can copy your voice, and even your expressions, right? It's not just editing, it's impersonation on a whole new level. I have a friend of mine who I don't really talk to anymore, but one of the inside jokes in my other friend group is like this dude just makes like memes all the time, like stupid memes, like like just stuff with like pictures of someone with like words on it, like some of our friends or whatever. And like he sent me this video today, like making fun of like one of our friends, and like I'm not gonna lie, like the video was funny. Like it was like a short like 8-second video of like it was basically like it looked exactly like our other friend who has a YouTube channel, and it was like him saying like other words, and like it's funny and stuff, but at the end of the day, like it's crazy that like someone can just make that now. You'll see videos of influential people, right? Like, whether it's influencers, celebrities, or just people that are very famous on the internet right now, like there's lots of videos of them saying stuff that aren't true. Like even like the Luke Belmar stuff, like there was like the whole like Luke Belmar meme about like, sipping in the war room, Johnny Walker with Tristan Tate, all that stuff. Like that stuff's funny, but like there were so many fake Luke Belmar videos being made with like AI deepfake voiceovers and stuff. And like, I mean, he's sitting there getting interviewed and like they're just changing up his face and his words and his lips a little bit. And it looks pretty real. Like I can tell to some extent if something's fake because like maybe I saw the full interview or like maybe I can tell, but like there's a lot of people that wouldn't tell that, especially people who are older. Like if you were to show a deep fake to like, maybe like our parents or someone who's like, let's say north of 40, north of 50, like they're going to have a very harder time telling. I mean, think about like how like technologically behind like our grandparents were. Like I don't even think my grandma and grandpa know how to work a cell phone, right? So they're not going to be able to differentiate from deep fakes and normal videos. And that's scary. And I feel like it's becoming better and better and better to the point where we're also not going to be able to tell. And a lot of times we still can't tell, right? I mean, they could do, and this is what's scary because there's a lot of people who have been, I would say, fall victim to whatever term you want to say, like the matrix or the system or, like the deep state, whatever you want to call it. And, a lot of it, like people get charged with stuff and like they have evidence and there's voice recordings and like, just think about it. If anyone can use AI to generate a recording that sounds exactly like you, like that's a very scary world. And I do think that the big reason for that is like the line between real and fake is gone, right? So if you were to take a side-by-side comparison of someone's voice, and then as well as like an AI voice or a deep fake, right? Like you're trying to solve a puzzle. Like a lot of times it's very, very close in terms of what it sounds like, right? And it's just a scary time. It's a scary time. And like I said, what prompted me to make this video today was there was someone I know that like made like an AI thing of one of our friends, like as a joke. But I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. And even myself, like there's this one kid that used to go to my gym, and like I was friends with his brother, or I used to be friends with his brother. And then the younger brother, he's like been harassing me for like a couple of years now. Like nothing like super crazy, but like he'll like prank call me, and like, you know, he'll like come up with like fake social media accounts and like try to follow me and stuff. And like just today I got sent something. It was like some TikTok account that he made, and it was like an AI generated video of me like wearing like a like a cowboy hat. Like it's kind of funny, like it's like 1% funny, but at the same time, like that's like also really weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you have nothing better to do. Your life is that meaningless that you have to sit there all day and make AI deepfakes and AI stuff of other people. It's really weird. And that's the problem, is there's a lot of people that have the time to do that, and will use AI and use deepfakes and all those type of things to do bad things. And that's the problem, right? Because how far does this go? How far does this go? What happens when numbers are fake, right? Could it get to the point where maybe your banks use AI a ton, and like you open up the bank account and you can't even trust if the number in the bank is actually your real number or not? What if it's an AI generated number, right? What if, you go to the hospital or the doctor's office and, what if, you're taking a Zoom doctor appointment, or you're taking like a video call, what if that's actually your doctor or not? What if it's a deep fake? What if there's some breach of security and it's actually not the doctor, right? And this is the problem, right? There's this line that's continuously being blurred day by day between AI, between what's real. And I think this is like a step above even like news. So like I always knew that the news was fake. I would say for a while, like even before all the 2020 stuff, like I was never someone that really just believed news and like just followed what people said like a sheep. Never been that way. But I feel like the AI and deepfake stuff is a step above news. So like we all know that the news is fake, a lot of it. We all know that there's influences behind a lot of things, and you can watch videos on that as well. But, there's could be deepfakes in politics, media manipulation, viral hoaxes, right? It could get to a point where there's, AI generated politicians saying things they never said. What happens when millions of people believe a lie because it looks real enough? And we experienced a lot of that a couple years ago, being lied to at a large scale. And like I said, fake news is something that people are opening up to, and because they're like, people are less trustworthy of the mainstream news than they were 5 years ago. 100%. And I think it's getting to the point now where people are starting to wake up in that regard. But like, what's next though? Because now with AI, it's like, okay, like there could be totally generated news content or generated reporters, stories using AI. And it's like, what is actually believable? What is the actual truth? Sometimes it's so hard to get to the truth. There's a really good book that you guys should read. And I'm not even a huge reader. Like, I'm really not a huge reader at all. But growing up, like, we had to read books in school. One of the books we read was called Fahrenheit 451. If you haven't read it, or if you haven't ever read the book, consumed it at all, I would recommend giving it a read. Reason being is it's basically a book about, like, this is like a futuristic society. The main character, Montag is his name, and he's like a firefighter. But in this world, in this fictional world, the firefighters don't put out fires, they start them. So what they do in the book is they go around and they basically start fires, and they burn books. Like, they burn history, they burn stories of like the previous generations, they burn the actual historical texts and books of that society. So they're destroying information in real time. And Montag eventually wakes up to this, and he realizes that, like, wow, firefighters used to save people, right? They didn't used to destroy stuff. And I think it's crazy because the reason I love that book, it's one of my favorite books, is because it shows a lot of the society right now. I remember I saw a story couple years ago where like Amazon and Kindle were deleting certain books off people's Kindles that were like certain political books, right? Like maybe like more conservative type of books. There might have even been some more left-leaning books on that as well. But like there was a actual proof that they were deleting certain political books or certain books that fit a certain agenda, right, off of people's Kindle. So they're deleting information in real time. And I think it's really something that you guys need to be cognizant of, is the fact that, like, you know, history has happened for many years, and a lot of stuff that happened that was written about. But we are now in a society where AI can generate historical stories, texts, you know, scriptures, news articles, and also fake people talking about them. So just really keep that in mind and really think about that and how crazy that is. And I do believe that if not checked properly, or if not being aware of a good amount, it could get bad, and it could get a lot worse. And there's a lot of psychological and societal impacts on this, and I've I dove into a few of them, but there's a real-time erosion of trust. And I feel like people are already less trustworthy than they were not only 5 years ago, right? People are less trustworthy of the average stranger, I would say. And I don't think there's anything wrong with not just trusting a random stranger, because I'm like that way too. Like I really like the saying, trust but verify. If I meet someone and they carry themselves well, like I'll trust them, sure, like, you know, on a surface level. But would I trust them to like watch my kid if I had a kid? Probably not. Like, I'd want to know them more. But it's getting to the point now where it's even worse, where it's like it's hard to trust the common person that you see at the gas station. It's hard to trust the common news article you see when you open your phone. It's hard to trust just the common story that you come across in our world. And you know, we used to say that seeing is believing. I always heard that phrase growing up, seeing is believing. But now seeing might be the most dangerous thing you can do, right? Seeing actually might be detrimental to you. Seeing might not be a good thing at all. And I don't know, guys. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. This is more of like a just deep talk video where I had this thought today about how fake our society is becoming in real time. And, you know, I would just encourage you guys to really think about this critically and really just be aware of what you're consuming and the media you see. And, you know, just be open to detecting things. Like if you see something that's fake, you know, make sure other people know that, right? And just be aware. Don't be afraid. I'm not saying you got to be afraid and be super worried about this, but I would at least be aware of it, right? Be aware of it. And I would encourage you guys to be a little skeptic about everything you see, right? Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe anything, but like if you see a news story, before just, you know, taking it and running with it in the wind, I would at least fact check it to a certain extent, right? So we've entered a new digital era, guys, where anyone can be anyone, right? And anything can be faked. It's not about like if this will affect you per se. It's about when and to what extent, right? Whether it's a fake video used to ruin someone's life, whether it's a fake voice message that sounds exactly like you or exactly like someone you love, it will probably affect you for sure to some extent. If not, maybe it already has affected you. And the scary part is like this technology isn't just in the hands of the government anymore. It's in the hands of everyone, the common man, right? ChatGPT, all these AI tools, things of that nature. So let me ask you guys this. How do you know what to believe anymore? Is there certain tactics that you guys implement to really sniff out the BS per se? And like, you know, would you be able to tell if your favorite celebrity or even your own friend was faked online? Like if your friend called you or something, and like, would there be a way that you could tell? Maybe a saying you guys know, or like an inside joke or something like that. Like, what's a way that you could tell if your friend called you, or like someone called you using your friend's voice with AI? Is there a way that you could tell? I'm just curious, because I was thinking about this today, and like maybe certain strategies that the people I know and myself could put in. But drop a comment and tell me, have you seen a deep fake fooled you before? Have you seen AI that's fooled you before? But you know, let me know. Either way, guys, stay sharp. Just wanted to come on and talk about this today, and just, you know, make sure you guys were aware, because, you know, the next viral video that you see that goes all over the internet, and everyone's seeing it on their phones, it might not be real, right? It might not be real. So I'll see you in the next one.